Good morning and welcome to the writing lesson for Monday the 8th of February, the last week of this half term. So a few more days of home learning and then I hope you're all looking forward to a lovely rest next week. I think we all definitely deserve one. So nasty writing for today is a little bit of practice with adverbials again. I know this is something we've done before in nasty writing, but I thought today we'd focus specifically on adverbials of time and place. So adverbials, I've just reminded you on the nasty writing task, adverbials give us more information about a verb. That's why they've got the word verb in them, adverbs, adverbials. An adverb is generally one word, but an adverbial can be one word or a group of words. And they can tell us how something is done. They can tell us where, when, why, or how often, and other things, but those are the main functions of an adverb. So they describe the action, they describe the verb. So as I said, today I thought we'd focus on when and where, time and place. And what I want you to do is have a look at the photograph that I've put onto the nasty writing task. It's the children in Hogwarts dining hall. Looks a bit like the new hall at Cheswood, doesn't it? And then I've also put a useful resource here with adverbs of time and place. So you could use those if you wanted, or obviously you could use your own. So write 1 to 2 sentences using adverbials of time or place to talk about what's happening in the picture. So it's quite hard for you to see the picture probably on my whiteboard, but when you have a look at it on the task sheet it will be clearer. I was going to focus on Hermione because her face kind of jumped out at me, and it looks like they're all looking at somebody who's talking, doesn't it? So we don't know who that is. Well, you might do if you know the film really, really well, but I don't know. So I thought I'd just imagine that it was Professor Snape, who's one of the teachers in Hogwarts, and if you don't know, you can just make someone up. And I thought I would say that Hermione doesn't really look to me like she's believing that person. So I thought I would say, at first, Hermione wasn't sure she believed what Professor Snape was saying. So I thought I would start with that. Oh, I've just dropped some paper on the floor. Just a second. I thought I would start with, at first, obviously I need to put my capital in there. Oh, I wonder if you can read purple okay. Yeah, I think you can. At first, now don't forget I need a comma to separate my fronted adverbial. At first, Hermione, wasn't sure she believed Professor Snape. Or I could just say, oh sorry, I've got to put my teeth in straight. I could just say Snape. At first, Hermione wasn't sure that she believed Professor Snape. I don't need to put that, I can leave it out. Sorry, I'm dropping things all over the place. Sorry about this, everybody. I'm like that teacher in Harry Potter, I can't remember what her name is. I think she's the one who reads the crystal ball and predicts the future, and she's quite scatty and she drops everything and breaks things and forgets things. I feel like I'm harnessing her energy this morning. At first, Hermione wasn't sure she believed Professor Snape. I could leave it there, that's my sentence, but I'm going to add a subordinating clause on the end, because although it doesn't say that in the instructions, I know that's a good thing to do in Year 6 writing. At first, Hermione wasn't sure she believed Professor Snape, although at first Hermione wasn't sure she believed Professor Snape, although she wasn't sure why. It was just something about what he was saying that was a bit fishy. I could even add in a second fronted adverbial. I could say, at first, I'm going to put a little M there. At first, during dinner, and then I would need to separate that with a comma as well. So I'm being really specific about when. Or I could put the place there. I could say, at first, in the dining hall. So I've used one from here and one of my own. Now don't forget as well, adverbials don't always have to go at the front. Fronted adverbials do. So I could put my adverbial at the end. I could put, Hermione wasn't sure she believed Professor Snape at first. And that is still an adverbial. I've just put it at the end of the sentence instead. So they don't always have to go at the front. Okay, so that's the nasty writing for today. So as usual, pause the video maybe, do the nasty writing task first, and then restart it for the main writing task for today. So this is the writing task we really want you to do today. So last week you were a Hogwarts student in year 7, getting ready to go to your new school and buying all your equipment and your uniform in Diagon Alley. This week we're still sticking with the Harry Potter theme, but this week it's a little bit different, the task. It's still a narrative writing task, a story writing task, but this week I'm going to give you the beginning to a story and you're going to write the ending. And so you're going to invent your own story ending. The story begins in the ancient corridors of Hogwarts School itself. We are going to find out about a big problem that the 3 friends, Harry, Ron and Hermione, encounter when they first get to year 7, and you're going to come up with your own solution to the problem. I'm going to tell you more about the problem tomorrow, but today what we're going to do is find out a bit more about the main characters in the story and how they behave, what kind of people they are. So on the website, on the Daily Learning page, there are 4 video clips for you to watch. One is where Harry, Ron and Hermione meet for the first time on the train to Hogwarts. The second one is the 3 friends again, but they're fighting a troll. And I think in both of those clips you find out quite a lot about the 3 friends' personalities and how they're different to each other. Then video clip 3 is all about Draco Malfoy, who's kind of Harry's enemy really at school, and is a bit of a bully, to be honest. And his 2 friends, Crabbe and Goyle. They don't say much in the clip, but I think you get an impression of the kind of people they are, how they support Malfoy and do everything he tells them. And then the 4th clip is the first flying lesson that the children have at Hogwarts, so it's quite good fun. And Harry and Draco are the main sort of characters in that clip. But at the beginning there's also a little bit about Neville Longbottom. Now you don't have to include him in your story, but if you want to, you can. And, excuse me, in the clip Harry and Draco are fighting over something that belongs to Neville. It's his remembrall. Now I had to look that up because I couldn't remember what it was. And it's a ball. So the ball they're fighting over in the clip belongs to Neville, and it's a ball that contains smoke. And if you forget something, the ball turns red. That would be really handy for me at school. I think my class would agree, because I could have it on my desk, and every time I forgot to save the register, or I don't know, I said to someone, oh, I'll get that for you in a minute, and then I forgot, the ball would turn red. It would be so useful. And then when you remember the thing, it goes clear. So that's what they're fighting over in that scene, in case you're wondering. So yeah, you find out a lot more about Harry and Draco in that scene as well. So what I want you to do is watch the 4 clips. Watch each. So when you watch the first clip, I would watch it once without stopping. Then watch it again, and this time you can pause to make notes. And what you're going to make notes about are the main characters who are going to be in your story, and the settings. So some of the scenes take place inside Hogwarts, inside the school, and some of them take place outside Hogwarts, in the grounds of the castle, so you can see the countryside around the school and what it's like. One of the videos actually is on the train going to Hogwarts, but I think probably focus on the setting inside the school and outside the school. So you're going to watch a bit of the video, and then make notes about the kind of people they are and the way they behave, the way they act, how they speak. So not so much what they look like, but their personalities, their characters. So let me give you a little bit of an example. So this template, by the way, is on the Daily Learning page if you want to use it, or you can just do it in your book. You can just write characters, Harry Potter, underline it, and make some notes. So let me show you what I mean. Hopefully I'll be more successful using YouTube in the video than I was last time. I'm going to start watching this first clip. And when I haven't got my mouse on. There we go. I'm going to make it bigger.
Has anyone seen a toad? A boy named Neville's lost one.
No.
Oh, are you doing magic? Let's see then.
Sunshine, daisies, butter, mellow. Turn this stupid fat rat yellow.
Are you sure that's a real spell? Well, it's not very good, is it? Of course, I've only tried a few simple ones myself, but they've all worked for me.
Right, I'm going to pause it there. Hopefully I'll press the right icons this time. Go back to my flip chart. Okay, so I think I've already learned quite a lot about those three characters. So because I'm Hermione, I think is the one I've learnt the most about, I'm going to start here. So you don't have to do it in order. And I think I've already learned that Hermione potentially comes across as a little bit superior. And she might not be superior though, that's just the way she's seeming when we first meet her. So seems a bit superior. But actually if you keep watching the clip, also genuinely very clever and also very good at magic, I would say. I'm going to go into this box just because I can't fit it in. Ron seems a bit hopeless at magic really, doesn't he? His spell doesn't work very well. And maybe do you think he feels a bit intimidated by Hermione because the look he gives to Harry is a bit like, who she thinks she is? So actually maybe intimidated's not the right word. Maybe he's a bit irritated by her, a bit annoyed because he thinks she's a bit bossy. Irritated by, I'm just going to put H for Hermione, and then I'm going to put in brackets, thinks she's bossy. So really, is any thoughts you have about the characters and how the characters feel about each other? What I did think about Hermione as I thought about it a bit more, this is the first time she's met Harry and Ron, and as the scene goes on, I think you also get the feeling that she's kind of quite keen to be friends with them, is maybe trying to make friends because she doesn't have any friends. And sometimes when we try to make friends, we can overdo it a bit and come across as maybe a bit bossy or a bit know-all, and maybe she isn't really like that deep down. So it's really thinking about why the characters are behaving the way they are, what they're saying, what they're doing, and how they're feeling inside. So that's just a little bit just to get you started, but that's what you've got to do today. Watch the 4 clips, make notes about the 4 characters. Sorry, not the 4 characters, the characters listed here, I think there are 6 of them. You won't be able to say as much about Crabbe and Goyle, they're kind of characters in the background a little bit. And also, think about the settings inside the castle and outside the castle. How could you describe them? Think about using all the things we used last week. Let me just move this out of the way. To talk about atmosphere. So thinking about your senses, using adjectives, descriptive verbs, using similes and metaphors, fronted adverbials. So we haven't seen any of Hogwarts yet in the clip that I've just shown you, but this is where I would start, this is where I would start once I watch the other clips, writing down some of my description about those settings as well. So for example, inside Hogwarts it all looks very ancient. In some of the scenes it's quite dark and it's candlelit. So this is where I would start to make some notes about the settings as well. And this is going to help me when I come to write my story later in the week. Okay, so have fun with that today, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.